Hello, today I read some of the epitaphs of Thoth or Djehuty. You can use these titles to invoke the deity or write prayers for him. This is simply a list, and you may use these titles however you want. Thank you for listening. Dua Djehuty, representative of Ra, representative of Atum, judge of Ma'at for the Anid, judge of words, impartial judge, judge in the temple of Sethos, Ba of Ra, whose abomination is falsehood, ancient and great one for the Anid, who comes to him that calls him, the moon shining in the heavens, the heart of Ra. The sweet of tongue, the benefactor, the ibis, he who brings the Wadjet eye, who brings to Ra his eye, who brings the eye that was far away, the silent one, the gracious one who can avert this evil, he who sprung from the forehead, he who has come forth from Ra, the true of heart, the living lion, the lion of the south, mighty in strength, the lion with the dreadful growl. He who does what the goddesses love, who accomplishes truth, who giveth life to men, according to whose word the Anid acts, who does what Ra praises his chapel, who does good, who makes slaughter among the foes of the Wadjet eye, he who made eternity, he of balance, he who protects the lunar eye, who loves Ma'at, the filler of hearts, the excellent and impartial politarch, whose stylus protected the Lord of all, the one who fills the Wadjet eye for its place, who fills the Wadjet eye with what it needs, born of Atum, the self-begotten, the witness, the true witness for names. The Lord of Gladness, Lord of old age, great in power, great in strength, great in triumph. The twice great, the great one in Hermopolis. Splendid in speech, the silver Atem, the ape, the great and venerable ape, who equipped the eye for its owner, the Lord of wine who drinks abundantly, the Lord of life, he that knows the two lands, the beautiful, the prudent of heart, the eagle with the many-colored plumage, to whom is subject life in Duat, who increases his figure, who increases his form, the unique one, the Lord of lifespans, Lord of purification, Lord of heaven, Lord of judging, Lord of speech, Lord of divine speech, Lord of Ma'at, Lord of triumph, Lord of names, Lord of laws, Lord of eternity, Lord of Hika, Lord of foreign lands, Lord of writing, the beautiful one of the night, the unknown, who rescues the Wadjet eye from him who did evil against it, the strong of arm, the strong of thigh, the strong one of names, the tongue of Atum, the tongue of Ra, the eloquent judge, the messenger, the clean of hands, he who is astute in his plans, who distinguishes seasons, months, and years, the eloquent judge pleased with Ma'at, who distinguishes the bodies of different countries, the path opener of Ra, the porter of Horus, the great one, the great in divine speech, the great one who came forth from the Nile, great in Hika, great in slaughter, the prudent, he who ends the strife, mighty in his words, orderer of fate, sound of heart, sound of hand, judge of Ma'at for Wasir, the unapproachable, great God, the God for whom Henum longs, the venerable God in Adfu, Ra that shines in the night, lion in great strength, he who knows reckoning, he who knows balance, he who gives the Wadjet eye to its owner, he who sets the Wadjet eye in its place, he who gives the length of life to those in his favor, he who puts things in their due place, who gives words and writing, who gives glory to the gods, the great ibis, the ibis splendid in Hika, the venerable ibis, delighted in Ma'at, reckoner of years, who reckons all things, pleased with Ma'at, the bearer of the Wajet eye, he that is under his tree, Kansu Heru, lord of the amulet, president of the house of books, he that presides over the land of Egypt, the scribe strong of arm, Nisu of eternity, Nisu of the names, dweller in the library, he that is on the balance, the great governor of gods and men, governor of Ma'at in heaven and earth, governor of books, governor of Nut, the great magician, the ruler of the Wajet eye, the Lord of books, the Lord of Anid, the Lord of everlastingness, praised of Ra, fierce of face, the reckoner of time, he who protects the two lands, he that came into being at the beginning, who leads the throne of the Anid, he who protects Set, he that is on his stairs, the scribe of the divine book, the knowing one, he who makes great, he that is skilled in his employment, he who glorifies Wasir with the glorifications of his formulae, who glorifies the two eyes, who makes great in Ma'at in Egypt, who makes time and multiplies years, who makes Wasir triumphant against his foes, who makes splendid his creator, the eldest child of Ra, who establishes laws, a second Ra, who announces the morning, who gives peace to the two lands, who soothes the heart of the Netjaru with his words, the commander, the power of the Netjaru, the great power, the venerable power, who beholds what comes afterwards, the great beholder, whose words establish the two lands, he of the palate, letter writer of the Anid, whose name is mentioned in the birth house, who inscribes the royal rule of the Lord of two lands, who records all that exists on earth, he who overshadows his foes, who overthrows his enemies in every land, who reconciles the splendid one, who reconciles Heru with his eye, who appeases the Netjaru, who reconciles the two brothers, who appeases the mistress of men with script, who pleases the Netjaru with their gifts, who advances position, who illuminates the Duat in the necropolis, guide of heaven, earth, and Duat, the guide who determines time, who distinguishes the tongue of every foreign land, who proclaims laws, who fashioned signs and wrote Hika, the great Shu, eldest child of Ra, who drives away evil in his neighborhood, the venerable, skilled in knowledge, acute, the mysterious, the cool of mouth, who fashioned all things, who made all that exists, who fashioned beautiful things, moon of beautiful risings, who determines fate, who gives air to Wennefer, who gives breath to the weary of heart, who gives breath to the nostrils of every man, who gives the office to whoever he loves, whose face is stretched, who purifies the Anid with his hands, who joins the two halves for the son of Aset, who makes strifes to cease in the eastern sky, he who drives away evil, he who drives away the voice of anger, who created purification, the great bull among the stars. Dua Djehuty, Dua. Thank you for listening. I hope that you are able to use these titles in your own prayers or whatever else you happen to be doing with Djehuty. Thank you again. Senepti.